Dear students, in continuation of the last lecture, where we tried to understand the male sex organs of the flower, stamens, microsporangia, microspore mother cells, reduction division, microspores, pollen grains, male gametes. Such details we have studied in the last class. In this class, let us try to understand the female sex organs, gynoecium, ovules, microsporangia, then megaspore mother cells, megaspores, female gametophyte or embryo sac, and female gametes. How do they develop? These aspects let us try to understand. Megasporangium, ovule, embryo sac, the pistil. The carpel is also known as pistil. Now this is the female parts of the flower called gynoecium. Collectively, all the female parts of the flower collectively known as gynoecium. Unit of the gynoecium is pistil or carpel. There may be one carpel, there may be 2, 3, 4, 5 or many multicarpellary. Or it is also pistil or carpel. Monocarpellary to multicarpellary. A pistil or carpel consists of 3 parts: ovary, style, stigma. The basal enlarged part is called ovary. The elongated part is called style. The terminal part of the style is somewhat enlarged, flattened to form the stigma. 3 parts: ovary, style, stigma. Inside this ovary, the ovules are produced. Inside the ovary, ovules. Ovules arise from the placenta of the ovary wall. This is ovary. Inside this, ovules are present. The organic connection between the ovary wall and the ovule is known as placenta. The organic connection between the ovary wall and ovule. Different types of placenta are there. That is called placentation. Funicle is a stalk-like connection between the placenta and ovule. This I will show you in the diagram. Ovules are megasporangia. Mega, there micro. Here, ovules or megasporangia. Hilum is the junction between the ovule and the funicle. In the ovule there is a central mass of cells known as nucellus, which is diploid, which belongs to parental generation. Nucellus inside the ovule, a mass of tissue, a mass of cells, nucellus 2n. Cells are rich in nutrients. Nucellus is enclosed by 2 protective envelopes called integuments. In the central there is nucellus. Nucellus is enclosed by 2 protective layers called integuments. Outer integument, inner integument. Micropyle is the opening of the ovule. If this is the ovule, there will be an opening. That is called micropyle, where the integuments are absent. This end of the ovule is called micropylar end. The end of the ovule, suppose this is micropyle, this is ovule, this part is called micropylar end, this end is called callagel end. the lower part. Opposite end of the ovule is called calaja. Embryo sac or female gametoid. Remember, this is very important. Should not be confused. Embryo sac or female gamete. Same. Develops inside the nucellus, in the center. Center, nucellus, again in the center, embryo sac or female gametophyte. This is the structure of the ovule. You can see various things. This is funicle, a stalk-like structure connecting the placenta and the ovule. This part is called raphe or hilum. This is ovule. This part is called ovule. It is inverted, anatropous ovule. If the ovules are straight, orthotropous. But this is anatropous. This end is called calageal end. This part is called calaja, where the raphe or this part joins the ovule. Calaja, or some people pronounce it as chalaja. This is a micropyle, opening of the ovule, where the integuments are absent. Opening. The central tissue is called nucellus. This is nucellus. 2n belongs to parental generation. Then these two are integuments, protective layers of the ovule, outer integument, inner integument. And inside this embryo sac or female gametophyte develops. And how does it develop? That we will see following. So this is embryo sac. In embryo sac there will be calageal end. Here there will be antipodals. Here egg apparatus, two synergids, one egg cell, and here the polar nuclei or secondary nucleus. So this is funicle, raphe or hilum, calaja, micropyle or end, calageal end, integuments, nucellus, embryo sac. Outer, inner, synergids, egg, like this. Now, for exercise purpose, I kept this diagram. What is this? Funiculus. This is raphe. This is calaja. This is micropyle. These two are integuments. What is this? Nucellus. Embryo sac. Female gametophyte, integuments, micropyle. So this is ovary wall, this is placenta, these stalk-like structures, these are ovules, the stalk-like structures are called funiculi or funiculus. Here this is embryo sac. Towards this end, calageal end, there will be three cells. They are called antipodals. Antipodals towards calageal end. Towards micropylar end, there will be three. The two side cells or nuclei are called synergids. Synergids. The central one is the egg cell or female gamete. In the center, there will be a cell with two nuclei. These two nuclei are called polar nuclei. One comes from this end, another comes from this side, and they will, for some time, they will be side by side. That cell is binucleate, and this cell participates in triple fusion. Megasporogenesis, one of the cells in the nucellus towards the micropylar region differentiates into megaspore mother cell To shorten it, MMC, megaspore mother cell, which is diploid. One cell in the nucellus, especially that is towards the micropylar end. The process of formation of megaspores from MMC is called megasporogenesis. In the male, microsporogenesis. MMC, megaspore mother cell, undergoes meiotic divisions, produces 4 haploid megaspores. Just like microspore mother cell, here also it undergoes reduction division, but later on there is a difference. We will see that. Megaspores are the first cells of the embryo sac or female gametophyte. After reduction division, the diploid stage ends, haploid stage commences, and the megaspores are haploid, megaspore mother cells are diploid. So, the megaspore cells are the first cells of the gametophytic generation. Look at this, MMC, megaspore mother cell 2N. It undergoes meiotic divisions, produces 4 megaspores. But out of the 4, 3 degenerate. Only 1 survives. But in case of microsporogenesis, all the 4 survive. All the 4 are active. But here 3 degenerate, only 1 survives. So this surviving cell undergoes 3 successive mitotic divisions. First division 2, second division 4, third division 8. As a result of first division, 1 cell becomes 2. The 2 also again undergo 1 mitotic division, they become 4. The 4 cells again undergo mitotic divisions, 8. 8 cells result. Out of these 8 cells, let us see, 3 are antipodals. In the embryo sac, they go towards the callagel end. The 3 cells that are present in the embryo sac towards the callagel end are called antipodals. Whereas the 3 cells that go towards the micropylar end of the embryo sac, together known as egg apparatus. Remember, all the 3 together known as egg apparatus. Out of the 3, 2 are synergids, 1 egg cell. 2 synergids, 1 egg cell. And the central cell consists of 2 nuclei, binucleate. So 3 plus 3, 6, 7. 7. How many nuclei? 3 nuclei, 3 nuclei, 2 nuclei, 8 nuclei. 7 celled, 8 nucleates. Very, very important. At the time of fertilization, embryo sac is 7 celled, 8 nucleates. So this is again, these are antipodals towards callagel end, shown in reverse way. These 2 are synergids. This is egg cell. Here, this is egg cell. This is a central cell with 2 nuclei, binucleate. These 2 are called polar nuclei. The 2 nuclei present in the central cell called polar nuclei. So here piliform threads, minute thread-like structures whose function is not clearly known, but some people believe that they direct the male gamete into the embryo sac or towards the egg cell. Function not clearly known, but some believe piliform apparatus this. Then embryo sac or female gametophyte Out of the 3 megaspores, 3 degenerate. Only one survives. The surviving megaspore gives rise to embryo sac or female gametophyte. Embryo sac, female gametophyte, same. Remember, embryo is different from embryo sac. Embryo after fertilization. Embryo sac before fertilization, it is female gametophyte, it is haploid, whereas embryo is diploid. Megaspore cell undergoes 3 successive free nuclear divisions to form 8 nuclei. Initially, 8 nuclei. At 8 cell stage, the cell walls are laid down around the nuclei. 3 cells move towards the colagel end, they are called antipodals. 3 cells move towards the micropylar end, that's called egg apparatus. Out of the egg apparatus, 3, 2 synergids, 1 eggs. In egg apparatus, the middle one is called egg and the 2 other are called synergids. The central cell contains 2 nuclei. What are those nuclei? What are their names? Polar nuclei. Central cell. Then polar nuclei. At maturity, this point very important, the embryo sac is 7-celled, 8 nucleate. 7-celled, 8 nucleate. Pollination. Transfer of pollen grains to the stigma of the pistil referred as pollination. Autogamy, self-pollination, pollination within the flower is called auto-self-gamy union. If the pollination occurs within the same flower, it is called autogamy. Chasmogamy. Many of the flowers open, they expose the male and female parts, then pollination takes place. If the pollination takes place after the opening of the flowers, it is called chasmogamy. Such flowers are called chasmogamous. Many of the flowers open. The male-female parts are exposed. Then pollination takes place. Like that, if the pollination takes place after the opening of the flower, it is called chasmogamy. Such flowers are called chasmogamous. But there are some flowers, they never open. They remain like this only. Still pollination takes place within the flower. And such type of flowers are called clistogamous. Such pollination is called clistogamy. So clistogamy is always autogamous, self-pollination, because they are not opening. Plants like viola, pronounce it, viola, oxalis, camelina, these plants produce both clistogamous and chasmogamous flowers. The flowers that never open, clistogamous, the flowers that open. Both types of flowers are produced on the same plant in these plants. Then cross-pollination. Pollination between 2 different flowers. Allogamy. Allo means different. Gamy, union. Pollination between different flowers. It is of 2 types. Geitonogamy, pollination between different flowers of the same plant. Plant is same, flowers are different. The pollination takes place between the different flowers of the same plant. That is called geitonogamy. Xeno, different. pollination between the flowers of the different plants. Suppose two plants of the same species growing side by side or far away. By somehow the pollination takes place between the flowers of these two plants. Then it is called xenogamy. Xeno means again different. Cross-pollination, self-pollination, autogamy, cross-pollination, allogamy, which is advantageous. Always cross-pollination is advantageous for many reasons. Genetic variations result in the progeny because gametes will be coming from different plants, different flowers. So therefore, in the progeny, there will be a lot of genetic variation. This is necessary for evolution, for survival, for many other reasons. So cross-pollination results in genetic. Productivity of the seeds will be more number of seeds will be produced. And almost all the seeds will be viable. Then seeds are more large, healthy, and viable. So therefore, in many respects, in any way you take, cross-pollination, allogamy is advantageous over the self-pollination. So this diagram shows, so these are two different plants of the same species. Pollination within the flower after the opening of the flower, autogamy. Pollination between the two different flowers of the same plant, zettanogamy. Pollination between the flowers of the different plants of the same species, xenogamy, autogamy, zettanogamy, xenogamy. These two are treated as allogamy, cross-pollination. This is self-pollination. Outbreeding device. Here they have coined a different term. Because the cross-pollination is advantageous than the self-pollination, many plants, many plant flowers show an adaptation to inhibit or to prevent the self-pollination and at the same time to favor the cross-pollination. This is outbreeding device. What is that? Cross-pollination is advantageous. So therefore cross-pollination should occur. So in any way, in one or other way, self-pollination is prevented. If self-pollination is prevented, automatically cross-pollination. What are those? Dichogamy. Di means two. Maturity of male and female pods at different times. Suppose a plant produces male and female pods, but they do not mature at the same time. At one time male, at some time female. So therefore automatically self-pollination is prevented. Helianthus, solanum. Hercogamy. A flower consists of both male and female parts, but at different heights, at different places. Suppose in Gloriosa, it will be like this, the style. Far away from the anthers. That is called hercogamy. Heterostyle. The pistil and stamens at different heights in the same species. In some individuals, pistil will be higher, stamens shorter. In other individuals, stamens at a higher height, pistil at lower height. This is to prevent self-pollination. Good example, Waldenlandia. Self-sterility. Self-sterility. But there is some mechanism. Suppose accidentally, if the pollen grains of a flower fall on the stigma of the same flower, they do not germinate. Or in other words, the stigma does not allow the pollen grains to germinate on its surface. So there is no compatibility between the male and female parts of the flower. That is called self-sterility. It is found in Abetilon, Passiflora, and many of the orchids. So agents of pollination. Pollination may be brought about by abiotic agents like wind, that is called anemophily, most of the grasses. Anemophilous flowers are non-attractive. Pollen grains numerous, very light, so that they can be very easily blown away by the wind. Water hydrophily, pollination by water. The pollen grains float and passively transported to the female flower. Good example, Wallisneria, Zostera, Hydrilla. Biotic agents. In many flowers, it is brought about by living organisms, animals. Biotic flowers are attractive either in color, either in shape. They produce the fragrance, they produce good smell, they produce the nectar. Sometimes the pollen grains are edible. Such adaptations they make. Zoophily by animals. Pollination in good number of plants. Entomophily. Birds, ornithophily. Usually hummingbirds you might have seen somewhere. The birds sucking the nectar and at the same time performing the pollination. Erythroxylon, bats, Chiropterophily, Acanthocephalokedamba. During the night, the bats visit the flowers, eat the pollen grain, and at the same time perform the pollination. Mammals, in some mammals, very rare. Pollen pistil interaction. This is a stigma, style, ovary, pollen grains fall. Many of the pollen grains fall incidentally of the same species or different species, but all of them do not germinate. For all of them, that surface is not ideal, or the stigma doesn't allow the pollen grains to germinate. Therefore, there is no compatibility between the pollen grains and stigma. Again, this is a device and adaptation to prevent the self-pollination. There will be an interaction between the pollen grain. There will be an interaction between the style chemically or providing the nutrients, because when the pollen grains fall, the pollen grain germination requires the nutrient and moisture. So incompatibility, right pollen grains fall, they germinate, they are compatible. Sometimes if the wrong pollen grains fall, they do not germinate. Stigma doesn't allow the pollen grains to germinate, or the pollen grains themselves do not germinate. This is called incompatible. Recognition. How does the stigma identify it is a right pollen? There will be an interaction, chemical interaction between the pollen and stigma. Some signals, some chemicals. Only compatible pollen grains, which are most vigorous, selected for fertilization. Thus, the female part selects its own pollen grains. Very interesting phenomenon. It will not allow the others to germinate and allows the only preferred one, its own one, or selectively it selects the pollen grain. Extracellular components Also, either they may promote or inhibit. Now, a lot of work, research work is going on at molecular level, genes level, which genes control these pollen stigma interactions. What type of chemicals are involved and which genes are involved in the expression of these chemicals. Such type of work is going on, which is very important in plant breeding. The model systems, they are used. Thank you very much. Thus we have studied now what we have studied: female sex organs, gynoecium, carpel or pistil, ovary, style, stigma, ovule structure, detailed ovule structure, nucellus. Inside the nucellus, megaspore mother cell undergoes rheotic divisions, megaspore, single megaspore. It develops into embryo sac. Later on, we try to understand the pollination mechanism.